Have you ever wondered what happens to snowmen when spring starts to peek through? Among the snow-covered trees and silvery paths where moonlight made the snow sparkle like stardust, lived Flurry. Flurry was the smallest and most gentle snowman anyone had ever seen. His little coal buttons gleamed like tiny pieces of night sky, and his soft blue scarf, a gift from the winter wind, floated gently in the evening breeze. But lately, something felt different in Flurry's magical garden. The sun seemed to stay a little longer each day, and the air carried whispers of change that made his snowy heart flutter with worry. Even his beloved scarf seemed to dance differently in the warming breeze. As twilight painted the sky in soft purples and blues, Flurry noticed his snowman friends starting to change. Some were becoming a bit shorter, others a bit rounder, and all of them seemed to be listening to something in the warming breeze that rustled their old scarves. Determined to stay just as he was, Flurry began searching for the coolest, shadiest spot in the garden. His tiny snow feet left trails of starlit footprints as he carefully explored each corner of his winter world, his scarf trailing behind him like a ribbon of sky. But then something caught his eye that made him pause in wonder. There, in a patch of snow near the wise old pine tree, was a tiny spot of purple pushing through the white blanket of winter. It was unlike anything Flurry had ever seen before. As he watched amazed, a delicate purple crocus flower emerged from beneath the snow, her petals carrying drops of moonlight like tiny crystal dreams. "Hello," she said in a voice as soft as falling snow. "I'm Petal, and I'm one of spring's first flowers." Just then a gentle rustling came from above, and a deep, kind voice spoke from the branches of the ancient pine tree. Its needles sparkled with frost as it swayed in the evening breeze, sharing centuries of wisdom in each movement. "Every season brings its own kind of magic," Old Pine whispered, as moonbeams danced through its branches. As the light touched Flurry's scarf, something magical began to happen. Tiny dewdrops, like stars fallen from the sky, began to collect in its soft blue fabric. "Your scarf," Old Pine explained warmly, "is not just any scarf. It was woven from winter winds and morning frost. Now it will help you bring spring's magic to our garden." Each dewdrop on the scarf began to sparkle with all the promises of spring. As more dewdrops gathered in his scarf, something wonderful began to happen. Each sparkle seemed to show him visions of what spring could bring: flowers dancing in warm breezes, butterflies painting the air with color, and the joy of helping new things grow. All around him the garden began sharing its secrets. Where the ends of his scarf had touched the snow, tiny green shoots were starting to peek through. Each one seemed to wave to him, thanking him for helping them find their way to the moonlight. With his stick arms trembling just a little, Flurry reached out to touch a tiny snowdrop flower. As he did, a perfect dewdrop fell from his magical scarf, and the flower seemed to smile as it grew just a little bit taller. Night after night, as the garden slowly changed, Flurry discovered something wonderful. Though he was becoming a bit smaller, his scarf collected the dewdrops from his melting snow, sharing them with every new flower in the garden. It was like he was becoming part of every new bloom. Crocuses in purple and gold, snowdrops in pure white, and tiny green leaves all flourished with help from Flurry's magical scarf. Each dewdrop it shared was like a tiny gift from winter to spring, and the garden began to fill with a new kind of magic, the magic of seasons changing. The moonlight seemed to play a special song just for Flurry, making his scarf shimmer with different colors as it danced in the breeze. Blues for the last whispers of winter, purples for the coming spring, and gold for the magic that connected them all. As the moon rose higher in the star-sprinkled sky, Flurry found a perfect spot near his new flower friends. Though he was a little smaller than when our story began, his heart felt bigger than ever, filled with the joy of helping spring arrive in his own special way. His magical scarf glowed softly as he settled down for the night, each dewdrop holding memories of the day's magic. Around him, the flowers seemed to hum a gentle lullaby of gratitude, their petals swaying softly in the evening breeze. And that's why on quiet nights when winter whispers goodbye and spring begins to stir, if you see dewdrops sparkling on early spring flowers, they might just be gifts from a special snowman named Flurry as he helps bring spring's magic to the garden. Sweet dreams, little ones.